But Joseph doesn't want to feel his feelings. He only wants to fix them, to bury them. And so he wants, as quietly and as respectfully and as quietly and privately as possible, to walk away from Mary. But why does he want to do that? Why is he feeling hurt and betrayed? It's because he is believing in something that is not true, that is not real. That his thoughts are leading him not into reality, but away from reality. But those unreal thoughts are leading to very real feelings. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever let an unreal thought lead you into some very real feelings? Look, I'm embarrassed, but it can happen to me with a delayed text message. Let's say that I text someone and I make a request that maybe I'm not all that comfortable making, but I really need to make. I need this from this person. And then they do not respond to me for 2 hours. And all the time, I have these thoughts going in my head. Oh, maybe they're offended by my request. Maybe I asked for too much. Maybe they don't like me. Maybe they're upset at me. And then 2 hours later, they respond to the text, and I discover that all of those thoughts are not real at all. But those real thoughts drove me into some very real feelings, in that case, some quite unpleasant ones. But what drove the feelings? My fear drove the feelings. My fear of someone being offended, of disapproval, whatever it might be. You know, someone once wisely said that fear is not so much a word as an acronym, like IBM or the CIA. And so what does this acronym stand for? FEAR. It stands for false evidence appearing real. Ever let some false evidence in your life lead you into some very real feelings? Yet, that false evidence, that fear, will not only lead you into real feelings, it'll often lead you into real actions. And actions that can even have tragic consequences. Several years ago, someone told me a story about a man who was exploring a cave. And he was climbing up a cliff face in the cave when his foot slipped and he fell, plummeting who knows how far into this abyss in the cave. Now, fortunately, his safety line held. But when he fell, he lost his light. So it was pitch dark. He could not see a thing. So he did not know how far to fall. He would fall if he let go. So he decided to wait, to hang on to that safety line. And he hung on and waited day after day as he got weaker, without water and without food. And a number of days later, they did find him, but it was the strangest sight. They saw a dead man dangling from a rope that was but a foot off the ground. A dead man who let his fears, false evidence appearing real, literally dictate his life and his death. Yet we may not be cave explorers, but how often have we got caught up in that sort of false evidence that has led us to actions we regret, to consequences that were even hard or tragic.